Zoho Books versus QuickBooks. Which accounting software is the best? And should you switch? Hey guys, Aditya from Dancing Numbers, and today I'm going to talk about this topic that is really contentious, especially among startups and small businesses. That is to choose the right accounting software. Because once you choose an accounting software, you're going to be stuck with it for a while. Some questions that we get from our users include: is one better than the other? Is it time for me to make the switch? And which accounting software do we recommend to our clients? You are exploring your options, and that is always a good thing because you need to in order to make the best business decision. To tell you the truth, most of our clients use QuickBooks because it already has 80% of the market share captured for accounting solutions. So it has practically established itself as the industry standard. Accountants prefer and recommend QuickBooks. They don't want to shift to a new accounting software, and this creates a cycle of reinforcement. So QuickBooks stays on the top of the food chain no matter how incompatible it is with your business. But over the last few years, especially the last 2 years, we started getting a few clients who used Zoho Books, and then there were a few clients who wanted to migrate from QuickBooks to Zoho Books because they weren't comfortable with the pricing that was increasing day by day for QuickBooks Online. But most of our new clients, especially businesses, startups that have outgrown their Excel phase, that need a tailored accounting solution that can help expand their business, maintain the finances for their business. And so, for those users, selecting the first accounting software, which requires a huge investment, in my opinion, is a very big decision. So, in this video, I'll cover all of the details that you need to know to make the right decision. And by the end, you will be able to make the best decision for your own business or accounting firm. Let's start with pricing. Intuit knows that it is the industry standard, and so it charges a really good premium for its products. So, here we are on the pricing page for QuickBooks Online, and you can see that they have 50% off for the first 3 months if you subscribe for 3 months directly, but then the price increases. And if you go for a 30-day free trial, you can see the real price, that is $30 starting. Then you move on to Essentials Plus, and the final one, which is Advanced, which costs you $200 per month. And that is a really solid investment for any small business or startup. So let's see what you get in Simple Start. You can manage the income and expenses. So you can import transactions, you can connect your bank account and sync all of the data directly. Then you have invoice and payments. So you can create invoice, send them to your customers, and receive payments online. And if you have QuickBooks payments, then you can integrate that too. And I'll talk about it more later. Then you can also look at tax deductions. So if you invest in capital assets and you want to deduct depreciation, then you can do that. And moving on to general reports. Now, financial reports simply summarize the activity of a business over a given period of time. So you have the profit and loss statement that tells you the total net income for a business for a particular period of time. You have the balance sheet, which shows you a snapshot of a business's financial health, how much it owes, how much it owns. Then the receipt capture feature is really nice because it allows you to simply snap a picture from the QuickBooks mobile app and upload and save it in QuickBooks. So all of the data that you record is backed by real documents and receipts. This makes it easy to follow the reliability principle in accounting, which states that you should only record those transactions that you can back up with receipts or documents. You can also manage cash flow for small businesses. I cannot overstate the value of cash flow, and to maintain that, you need to stay on top of it by regularly reviewing the amount of cash that you are receiving. And this will also create a cash flow forecast so you can see how much cash would be coming in the future so that you can spend accordingly to grow your business. As you move up the plan, you get more number of users who can access the company file. Think of it like a startup that is growing at a good pace, that has multiple accountants, and you want to share the access with multiple people, multiple users in your organization. The Essentials plan, which is going to cost you $55 per month, is going to include 3 users. Then you go to $85 per month, where you get 5 users. And then at $200 per month, which is the advanced plan, suitable for medium-sized businesses, and this gives access to 25 users. You also get data sync with Excel, so the data will be automatically exported into Excel, and whatever changes you make in Excel will be imported into QuickBooks. This really eases the whole task of data analysis, of connecting QuickBooks data with CRM and other software that you may be using. Let's now come to the pricing for Zoho Books. This is one of the good things about Zoho Books and something that a lot of small businesses that are just getting started or startups would really appreciate. They have a free plan. QuickBooks does not, but they have. The free plan offers a lot considering that, and it's completely mind blowing. It is free. You can manage clients, you can manage invoices, but that is up to 1,000 per annum. So that is really capped so that you can at least understand Zoho Box and shift to the standard plan if you need access to more invoices. And if you are already creating more than 1,000 invoices per year, then you can afford to subscribe to this plan. Now you have the customer portal where all of the customers that you record, you can save their data so that you can populate the data fields in invoices, send the invoices to the customers, and record the payments that you are getting from them. Automate payment reminders can help you remember all of the payments that you have to make against bills to your vendors. Another important thing for keeping a good relationship with your vendors. You also have recurring invoices, you have bank rules and reconciliations. Reconciliation statements are amazing for figuring out any errors that you have in your accounting data, and I cannot stress the importance of it enough. Let me just minimize this. And then you also have manual journal entries. So if you need to make adjustment entries, you need to close an account, you need to correct an error, you can use the manual journal entries. And there are some features to manage 1099 contractors, which are your independent contractors. And again, the basic reports that were available in QuickBooks. So the free plan offers a lot. And as you move up the chain, as you move up in pricing, you go to $15 per month per organization, but you have to pay this yearly. Now, if you pay monthly, the cost is going to increase, but the yearly payment is much better for most businesses, especially when you consider that you have the free plan and you can use that to realize if the software is right for you or not. And moreover, ZohoBox offers a 14-day free trial, which is again amazing. Now, as you move up the chain, you get access to more invoices, you have recurring expenses. You can also connect your bank and credit cards so that transaction data from your bank account and your credit card account are automatically synced with Zoho Books. You can create custom fields, reporting tags, which can obviously help you analyze your data more specifically. So, let's say if you want to analyze your data specifically for a type of vendor that you purchase computer equipments from. And then you can also create 10 custom reports. So if you want customization when you are analyzing your data, you can do that. But I prefer to take the data out of QuickBooks and Zoho Books and then use Excel or Power BI to analyze the data further and to create interactive dashboards. The next plan that is really intriguing is the $60 per month plan when billed annually. And here you get a custom domain. You have a vendor portal to manage your vendors, suppliers, and you can also create budgets. So if you want to estimate the cost of doing business in the future, if you want to forecast your profits and later on create estimates versus actuals reports, then budgeting is going to be really essential for your business. Now, if you're a startup that is rapidly growing, that is a good amount of investment, you can go for this plan. You also get more integrations with Zoho Sign and Twilio. Most costly plan of QuickBooks is $200 per month, and Zoho Books even crosses that, and the number of users that you get is less, and the difference is 10 users. So that can be a lot for a big organization that has too many accountants and bookkeepers who need to work together on the financial data. So we have seen the pricing now. The good thing is that both of them offer a free trial. QuickBooks offers a free trial for 30 days and Zoho Books offers a free trial for 14 days. And Zoho Books has a free plan, whereas QuickBooks offers you 3 months at a discounted price. There's a discount of 50% on the first 3 months. That is more than enough for you to get an idea if this software is the right fit for your organization. So you can see that the price for Zoho Books varies a lot more than that for QuickBooks. And you also have a free option that many users will appreciate, I guess. And I'd also like to bring your attention to the number of users once again, because that is really important for most businesses and accounting firms. So in QuickBooks, you can go from 1 user to 3 user, then 5 users, and then finally to 25 users with the advanced plan. So the maximum number of users can be 25. Whereas Zoho Books has less number of users. Even the most expensive plan, which is going to cost you $240 a month, only gives access to 15 users. That's it. So if you want more users to have access to your accounting data, then QuickBooks is definitely the way to go here. Next, let us look at the accounting method that these software support. If you are a rapidly growing business, if you are a startup, or even a small business that has a good amount of revenue, that has a good customer base, then you will definitely want to go for accrual accounting. In accrual accounting, what you do is record revenue only when you provide the benefit to the customer, and you record expense only when it results in a revenue. So expense and revenues are always matched. So you get a more clear picture of the amount of profit or loss your business generated during a given financial period. You can also go for the cash method, which I guess most mom and pop shops and really small businesses go for. You can also use Excel if you want to stick with the cash method of accounting. Next, we come to customer and vendor management. As a business, you're going to sell goods to your customers. So you want a single place to maintain the information of those customers so that you can quickly create invoices, send the invoices, and then you can also receive the payment online. Both QuickBooks and Zoho Books have a really streamlined process for invoicing. In fact, if you look at any accounting solution, that is one of the things that they really make simple and easy to use for their users. You can also store the information for all of your vendors, and you can look at all of the bills that you need to pay and the amounts that you need to receive from your vendors and customers respectively with the accounts receivable aging report and the accounts payable aging report. You also have a lot of options to analyze the data on the basis of a given customer or on the basis of a given vendor. So let me just show you how this whole thing works in QuickBooks and Zoho Books. So let us start with Zoho Books because most people aren't familiar with its interface. And when you go to the reports section, you can find the customer and vendor reports, and this is where you'll be able to look at all of the transactions by customers. And you can easily find the customers who have bought most from you so that you can personalize an experience for them, do a marketing campaign for them, or reach out to similar customers. Then you also have vendor reports. And going back to the reporting menu, I can see that I also have AR aging report, which gives me all of the transactions that are overdue and the number of days that they are overdue by. So this is a really quick way to look at all of the invoices that I need to collect, all of the payments that I need to collect from my customers. And I can also look at the vendor balance summary report. If I want to find out the vendors with whom I'm spending the most, maybe I reach out to them and negotiate better terms to cut down my costs to improve that bottom line and maximize it as much as possible. And then there are other accounts receivable and accounts payable aging reports. Let's just take a look at them. So the AR aging summary and the AR aging details. And then we also have the customers and the vendors report, which are the accounts payable reports. But there's no accounts payable aging report, and that's a real bummer because that is a report that I want to come back to again and again to find out all of the bills that I need to pay as fast as possible. You can see that we have the number of days that it has been due by. That's an easy way to figure out which customers I need to reach out to collect the money quickly. And let's come to QuickBooks Online. This is where it completely blows Zohobox out of the park because the amount of reporting functionality here is just incredible. So when I go over to customer and vendor reports, I can look at all of the accounts receivables that I need to receive. I can see open invoices, that is all of the invoices that are unpaid. Then I also have customer balance details so that I can figure out which customers I have the best relationship with, who are the customers or clients who are spending the most with my business. And I can also look at similar transactions for vendors and expenses. And I can also look at employee reports and accountant reports. The amount of options here are definitely greater. There are better options. The customization is a lot easier. So if I show you a report here, this is the AR aging report, accounts receivables that haven't aged, but these have been due. So you may want to reach out to bills, Windsor's shop and collect that money as soon as possible so that it does not end up as a bad debt expense for your business. All of the data that you store for your customers and vendors, you can go through them, you can edit them, also receive payments, look at all of the transactions for that particular customer if you simply select the customer. And the same is true for Zoho Box as well, because once you go into the sales, you select customers, you get a list of all of the customers and you can look at the transactions for this customer. The process of creating an invoice, sending it, receiving payment is quite similar in both the accounting software, because you have this quick create menu and you can go and simply create a new invoice. Select the customer, enter in all of the valid details that you want to enter, and once you're done, you can click on send, and this invoice would be sent accordingly. And when you want to receive the payment, you can click on record payment and receive the payment. And in QuickBooks, the process is also quite similar. If you go to the new menu here, you can create a new invoice and again record the transaction quickly. You can use all of the pre-built information that you have saved for customers, for products, for services to fill up the information and get started really quickly. And then you can save and send. Now, because this is a sample company file, this will not actually send the invoice. But if you have your own company file, your own account, then you're good to go with it. And when it comes time to receive the payment, you can do that again from the quick create menu and select the customer, select the invoice that they paid, and then save and close. That is a very easy way to quickly receive payments. But how about integration with payment gateways? Both ZohoBox and QuickBooks have integration with payment gateways such as Stripe, Razorpay, and PayPal. And if you really want to go into that, you can. Obviously, you'll have to make payments to those payment gateways on the basis of the number of transactions or the monthly subscription, whichever plan you have on the basis of that. But with QuickBooks, you have another option, which is QuickBooks Payments. So QuickBooks Payments is a completely different service by Intuit. So this is not a subscription based service, that is, you'll have to pay per transaction. An ACH transaction will cost you 1% of the transaction amount and it maxes out to $10. Or they have given a comparison with Square and Stripe as well. You can get QuickBooks payments if you want to send a payment link directly to the customer with the invoice and receive the payment, record the transaction accordingly. But if you don't want to do that, if you don't prefer the services from Intuit, you can still integrate Stripe and Square. And to do that, you have the app marketplace. If you go to apps, and there's this whole app store for both QuickBooks and I'll later look at ZohoBooks, and you can see that there are apps for Salesforce, for HubSpot, but also for Stripe. Let me just click on it. So if I click on Stripe, I have a lot of apps that provide that integration, that introduce that functionality for me. Obviously, these apps are going to cost you extra, so you'll have to shell out more bucks for extra convenience. And similarly in Zoho Box, okay, so I go to settings, and in here in preferences, I'll have the option to look at the apps and integrations that are available. For online payments, their preferred one is Stripe, because again, it is really secure. It has a really good recommendation, even if it charges more than the others. So you have online payments and you can integrate these payment gateways so that all of the transactions are automatically synced between your Stripe account and Zoho Box. Now, the good thing here is that this integration is free of cost completely. But in QuickBooks, if you're using an app developed by a third party, then you'll have to again shell out more money for additional functionality. For inventory management, these accounting software I don't think would suffice, because when managing inventory as a merchandising or a manufacturing company, you really need to stay on top of that inventory. To do that, you really need a specialized inventory management system. QuickBooks and ZohoBooks aren't going to do shit for you in that case. Both QuickBooks and ZohoBooks have basic functionality for managing and tracking inventory, keeping updated count of inventory items, and to notify you whenever the item below a certain threshold. However, if you are a merchandising or a manufacturing company and you really need advanced inventory feature, then you will have to go for an inventory management program such as, let's say, Zoho Inventory or CIN7 or even Ordoro. And these programs are really good because they specialize in that niche, and you'll get a lot more features to track your inventory and to always stay stocked up and to find out the cost of delivery and everything else. And these inventory management systems have their integration with QuickBooks and ZohoBooks. We have already been through apps and integrations. You can see that QuickBooks has a lot of integrations, and so does ZohoBooks. You have some applications directly from Zoho, such as Zoho Sign, Zoho CRM, to connect other services from Zoho with ZohoBook. Then you also have other applications such as Microsoft 365, Zapier, Google Workspace. So you can easily connect different services, especially with something like Zapier. You get a lot of integrations and you are able to build your custom workflows accordingly. In QuickBooks app stores, you'll obviously find a lot more apps because QuickBooks has a wider user base. So most developers prefer to build for the Intuit marketplace. And when you look at it, you will find all of the popular applications. So if you use the HubSpot CRM or marketing software or Salesforce CRM, you can integrate them together. You also have integration with Shopify, Square, Amazon, and it's great for e-commerce businesses. You can look and find almost all of the apps, the business applications, the solutions that you may be using to run your business, and integrate them to build custom workflows and automations. As a small business, as a startup, you'll obviously have to rely on the expertise of an accountant. So you may hire an in-house accountant or reach out to an accounting firm and outsource your accounting to them. In the latter case, you'd really want to share the access to your company file, to your financial data with your accountant. And both Zoho Books and QuickBooks have their own custom workflows for that, so that you can share the data, your accountant can make the changes, and those changes will reflect in your company file. While most accountants prefer to use QuickBooks because they are already very familiar with it, as long as an accounting software can create a trial balance, an accountant can work with it. So you shouldn't worry too much about it. What is much more important is your budget and the features that you need, and your preference of the platform that you want to go with. Another thing that you want to note here is that QuickBooks and Zoho have their own custom programs. So QuickBooks has this program called QuickBooks Pro Advisor. So anyone certified with that is able to provide you the help and support that you need with the software. Zohobox has its own certified partner program, which functions in a very similar way. You can reach out to these professionals for help, but you'll have to pay them extra. It has this whole community where you can post your problems, and pro advisors and other users can provide you solutions very quickly. This community is obviously a lot larger than that for Zoho Books because of the user base of the two software, and you will find a lot more resources for QuickBooks than for Zoho Books. So I took this poll of our accounting and bookkeeping thing, and QuickBooks wins by a huge margin, and that is because they are already familiar with QuickBooks. They don't generally use Zoho Books. Most of our clients don't use Zoho Books. So our final recommendation goes to QuickBooks. But again, that is something that you have to select for yourself. If you are already in the Zoho ecosystem, if you're using other programs from Zoho, such as Zoho CRM, Zoho Sheets, then Zoho Books is the right option for your business. If you found this video helpful, then hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.